Hello and a very warm welcome to one and all present here. This is Neerav Katyal, your host for the day, connecting live from India. And I'm really excited to host today's masterclass brought to you by Recorum. Our vision at Recorum is to onboard millions of enthusiastic users to the Web3 revolution. And that is why we bring to you a one of a kind masterclass series, Transitioning to Web 3.0. The world is heading towards a more connected ecosystem as time passes by, be it in the field of finance, gaming, or assets. And this is where Web3 comes to the fore. Web3 is all about building communities through the power of decentralization, blockchain, and the secret sauce to top it all, you. It is time that you, me, and the world around us transition to Web 3.0. Before we get started with our masterclass for today, let me give you a sneak peek into what we do at Recorum. Recorum connects Web3 professionals to Web3 companies through Web3 events. Web3 is the new internet and is meant for anyone who wishes to be a part of a transparent, efficient, and autonomous ecosystem. This is where Recorum steps in and helps attendees discover Web 3.0 jobs in professional events like conferences, webinars, and meetups across 70 plus industries and verticals, all the way from banking to agriculture to gaming. Today, we have 75 plus companies with us offering a plethora of jobs to all of you. We're also providing NFT minted certificates to all the participants who stay till the end of the event. So please start sending in your wallet addresses in the discussion room below so that you can all take away a unique memory from today. In case you're viewing the stream on our social media channels, please join this event from recorum.com and drop your wallet addresses in the discussion room. You might be wondering now, why did I stress on the unique in the previous statement? Well, that is because our topic for today revolves around tokens, and we all know about the uniqueness of tokens in the Web3 space. I would like to welcome all of you to our masterclass for today, Understanding Tokenomics in Web 3.0. The session flow is going to be as follows. First, we'll be meeting with our guest speaker. Next, we'll be having a presentation on tokenomics and the importance of it. After this, we have some questions curated from the Recorum community, which we will seek the answers to. And lastly, the floor will be open for questions from the audience polls. So without any further ado, let's meet our speaker for today. He is a software engineer and technical writer by profession. He is also a passionate speaker in the fields of open source, blockchain, software products, and serverless technologies, to name a few. A free code camp author and contributor, LogRocket Web3 technical writer, Angel Hack ambassador, and a developer DAO member. He has made a name for himself in the Web3 community. He is also the backend lead at SheCode Africa, a non-profit coding community in Africa with over 15,000 active women participants aimed at empowering young women in the field of technology. It gives me immense pleasure in introducing to you our speaker for the day, the founder of Web3 Africa, Mr. Idris Olubisi from Lagos, Nigeria.
Hi everyone. It's good to see you.
Hi, Mr. Idris. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine, and you? I'm really excited to be here. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for that
Yes.
wonderful introduction. Yeah.
I think all of us here are equally excited
Yeah.
and excited to undertake this event today and the masterclass that you're about to bring for us.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I actually want to understand from you, Mr. Idris, is in today's world, everyone talks about DeFi, everyone talks about Web3, everyone talks about blockchain, and all of these seem like buzzwords today. Everyone talks about them, but no one really knows what the in depth details are. Could you just walk us through as to how you actually made a career out of this space and, quite a successful one at it? And what really got you into the world of Web3 and tokens?
Yeah, so I think in simpler term, um, I think curiosity started the whole thing for me. So ever since I started building, started coding, I think curiosity led me to so many things that I knew today, and also some of the things I'm still going to learn more about. And that's what kind of drive me, like you said, like everyone was talking about it. At some point, it trended on all social media platform where people get to talk about NFT, people get to talk about Web3. But for me, it sounds like something that would just, come in, trend for a while, and just, and that's all about it. But that curiosity that drives me to even check what it is all about in the first place beyond NFT. So I think that's like what drives my attention more on seeing how what actually powers those NFT, then figuring out we have like blockchain and what powers blockchain itself. How do we come about the blockchain itself? So those are kind of things that I realized that okay, this is way beyond just something that will trend and leave the internet. This is like the evolution of the internet. This is the third iteration of the web, from the web 1.0, where we have content being delivered, and everyone on earth as at that time were just consumer of those content. Then we kind of move into the world of web 2.0, where we have interactions with the web. Now it's no longer consuming content. We can interact, we can chat, we can send messages, and so and but those kind of activities are being governed by a central authority, and I think everyone was really comfortable with that because of the activities that individuals can carry on the internet. Then now it has now evolved into the space of having a very strong, powerful technology, which is referred to as blockchain, powering the web, where nobody owns the web. It doesn't have like a centralized authority. No one can censor individual data, where you have more use cases as being the owner. You own everything on the chain, that you own anything you do leveraging on the blockchain itself. So it has and also because of the technology blockchain gives out of the box, where you can leverage on and build really amazing stuff with, should I say, minimal effort, because this technology is there to support, and now we have the web 3.0. So I think things around the blockchain fascinates me a lot, and I was really wondering how on earth would I build something with this. So that's like where everything started. Then, because I had prior experience in web development, so picking up, like I said earlier, curiosity. I had to pick up languages like Solidity after learning the blockchain fundamentals, so that I can be able to speak, uh, talk about these things, and also build, not just talk about it, build and see how it goes. Then that's how everything started. And another thing I noticed I kind of put lay more attention into is uh documenting my knowledge over time. So while I started learning learning some of these things, they were pretty new. I had no idea about them, but at the point when I started, checking out what it is, reading more content on it, watching YouTube videos and the likes, then I figure out, okay, I could actually document my knowledge to help some other people coming into the space, because people just heard about it, like nobody's doing anything, like people are just there, you just talk about Web3 and that's all. So how do we get more people into the space? And that's what really drives me towards building a decentralized community, I would say, focusing on onboarding and educating individuals in Africa which is the community that is tagged as Web3 Africa, which is basically focusing on onboarding, educating people into the space. And this idea is spin off from the developer DAO, which I'm a member of. And so they kind of back and support most of our activities in Web3 Africa, and we use developer DAO as a blueprint to carry out some of our activities in the Web3 Africa in the Web3 ecosystem in Africa.
Thank you so much, Mr. Idris, for sharing, all these insights that you have and how you actually got into this space. And I feel like in today's world with the internet, there's so much information flowing.
Yeah,
uh, it's very easy to get distracted. You
yeah,
see something interesting, but the second day you just find something else that is interesting, and you just lose interest. And then there's someone like you who actually found something interested, stuck to it, hung on to that curiosity, and built on it. And today you have made a successful career out of it, and you're not only leading your country or your community, but you're leading the entirety of Africa, uh, head on into this space of Web3 and cryptos and tokens. So I think it's an inspiration for all of us here, uh, who are attending this masterclass, to look up to you and take this from you. So thank
yeah.
you so much, Mr. Idris, for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And with this, Mr. Idris, I think we can get to the crux of today's masterclass. What is tokenomics, and why do we even need it in the first place? Over to you, Mr. Idris.
Yes. So just give me a moment. Let me share my screen.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So almost there. Sure. All right. Can you see my screen?
Just a second. Yes.
All right. So yeah, today we'll be talking about tokenomics and what are the things uh, we should understand about tokenomics and some of the things that power the tokenomics itself, how we come about the word tokenomics, and the difference between tokens and cryptocurrency, and also the type of crypto tokens that we have, and how those tokens plays like a major role when it comes to building the ecosystem of Web3, or building a chain, or in a protocol or a particular coin or tokens. So first, we'll be starting out with what is tokenomics. So what I want every one of us to understand here is that tokenomics um, is driven. The word tokenomics is token and economy. So now, as you all know, that token could literally be referred to as a thing that is serving as the visible or a tangible representation of a fact or quality or feeling. So this is kind of like a reward in most cases that is serving as something visible or representation, to acknowledge or to incentivize like individuals. And while economics is the branch of knowledge concerned with the production, consumption, and transfer of wealth. So, in the world of economics, you see where people talk about um, controlling an economy, being about centralized authority, handling or presuming or kind of giving an oversight of something that would literally work out in the next couple of years. This is literally controlled by a centralized authority, where we have people engaging and also building things around individuals. So this could literally be for a company, let me say a country, or the world at large. So now, this is how the word tokenomics is coined, token and economy. So now think of it where we have like economy in an infrastructure, let me say in an organization or a decentralized organization in this case, where the economy of a particular token is not controlled by a centralized authority. Um, this is controlled and governed by people within that particular ecosystem. This could literally be any protocol, any chain, or be it whatsoever, in as much as a token within the Web3 ecosystem. So now let's talk about what tokenomics is itself. So this is basically a trait of a token that will persuade investors or users to use it and support the development of the ecosystem surrounding the underlying project. So like I said earlier, like this is controlled by the user, especially specifically for the project, the underlying project. So every token has like an underlying project, and also tokenomics in this case is an act of showing investors how powerful it is, how powerful the token would be in the next couple of years, and how the ecosystem can be built around that particular token in a couple of years. Yeah. So sorry, I used to see my screen. Hello. Sorry, am I still audible? All right. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm still audible. Yeah. So now I want to briefly talk about the significance of value in tokenomics. So now, the first thing you should notice is that the world we see around us runs on incentives. So basically, most of the things like the incentive structure is present in every business, institution, and framework, pretty much everywhere you can look into. And so cryptocurrency were meant to escape the incentive structure. And I'm sorry, I mean cryptocurrency was not meant or were not meant to escape the incentive structure, and thus the tokenomics model came into existence. So cryptocurrency is basically strings of numbers and a collection of mathematical rules for transferring value alongside triggering computer code, and at the same time the underlying economic incentive structure have the capability of creating a completely new and expanding the asset class of any crypto economy. So the most important factor that drives or that can drive the foundation of tokenomics is the value is around, although cryptocurrency assets have fascinated the world wide world with a lot of promises in economic opportunity. So, but they still at some point lack some tangibility, because you can touch, of course, you can touch US dollars, you can touch every currency. But in the case of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, it's not something tangible, and at least, and also it's something that can be leveraged on uh, when you talk about the blockchain ecosystem itself. So in addition, the cryptocurrency also showcase their value in utility, um, thereby ensuring that they are part of fiat currency worldwide. Now, you must be wondering about the reason for discussing the value of cryptocurrency in this discussion. So, because as a matter of fact, it is quite significant element for understanding what it's tokenomics. So it still boils around the cryptocurrency token and all those cool stuff. So now let's talk about tokens versus cryptocurrency. So I've used this word interchangeably, and you might be wondering why, or what it is all about, and what the difference looks like. So in this case, um token is tokens are assets that is built on existing blockchain. So assets in this case is where, for examples, we have like we have different tokens. We have ETH, we have BTC, we have a lot of tokens which are built on the existing blockchain. And for cryptocurrency have their own blockchain and are built with monetary benefits compared to other tokens. So what's like the main or the key difference between token and cryptocurrency is that tokens are built on an existing blockchain. You can have token on an existing blockchain, while cryptocurrency have their own blockchain and are built with monetary benefits compared to tokens. So what are the type of crypto tokens that we have? So at first we have excuse me, So before I mention uh, like the type of crypto tokens we have, like it's important to understand the different types of tokens and the significance. So if you want to know much more about tokenomics, that's the reason why I'm talking about this. And the structure of tokens can primarily be classified into different types. We have tons of them. We have the layer one tokens, we have the layer two tokens, we have utility tokens, we have fungible tokens, we have fungible tokens, we have security tokens. So we have tons of tokens. So, but first, I will be talking about fungible tokens. So, fungible tokens are assets or tokens that can be divided uh, into multiples fungibles. So now in this case, fungible token, for instance, might be a digital currency like Bitcoin. No matter where it is used, one Bitcoin is worth one Bitcoin. So in this case, now you can have one ETH. That's it. One ETH is one ETH anywhere, no matter where it is used, no matter where it is being accessed from via the internet. One Bitcoin is always one Bitcoin. So this is a great example of fungible tokens. So we have non-fungible tokens too. This is non-fungible assets that are distinct and undividable. So they are regarded as a specific kind of title of ownership for an exclusive or one kind of object. So, say for example, a very good example is the NFTs that we have now. They are actually referred to as non, like the name implies, NFT, that's non fungible tokens, where we can have art. So there are so many use cases for it. We can have art. We can use it in estate management. We can use basically so many other use cases like transportation. You can use it as for registration. You can use it as attendance. There are a lot of use cases around non-fungible tokens. So say we have a house, a boat, and a car. They are example of non-fungible physical assets because they are one of a kind. So once I have a car, I have a car. This is like a one of a kind. I have a house, maybe bungalow or duplex. I know this is the type of this house, and it is one of a kind. Like for this particular house, it is a bungalow or whatsoever type of building it is. So that's like a great example of non-fungible token. So we have another one also called like the original chain. So original chain here in this case protocols that are mostly layer one. Like I said earlier, that we have layer one tokens, we have layer two tokens. So this is original chain in this case. Are mostly layer one protocols, which is built originally. So examples of these are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Avalanche, where you see they have like they have that token attached to them, their original chain, and they are built on top layer one protocol. That's they are classified as layer one. So they are classified as layer one, so they have their own token. So we have another example which is forked chain. So fork chain, this chain forked off the original protocol, original chain itself. So say for example we have Bitcoin Cash, we have Litecoin. So these coins, they have like or let me say this chain rather, they have like existing original chain where they are being forked off. So they are basically just like inheriting what we have in the existing original chain and having another approach to build an ecosystem on its own, but it's basically being forked off from an existing original chain. So now this type of chains too also have their own coins, they have their own tokens that they make use of within the ecosystem. So we have okay, yeah, so now let me drill down to like the what layer one token is exactly. So layer one token, um a native, they are like they are classified as a native token that grants access to the network's resources, which is present in all layer one networks. So the native token of a network is used to pay for a network services like sending network money, creating tokens, and making calls to smart contracts. So examples in this scenario, like I mentioned earlier, the Ethereum, Bitcoin, Avalanche are chains, and they have their own native token. So, for example, Ethereum uses Ether, and why Bitcoin uses BTC and also Avalanche, and so they have like a like underlining token that is being represented because they are classified. They are layer one tokens. They are classified under the layer one network. So they have their own tokens specifically for the protocol. So now layer two tokens, we had a discussion just now about the layer one token where we made quite some examples. So for layer two tokens, we need to understand that layer two networks, most of them are kind of roll ups from the layer one. They inherit some of the things that layer one is doing. Say for example, we have Polygon EVM compatible network where it kind of rely or outsource the security and every other characteristics of a very structured protocol from the Ethereum. So now they have their own tokens too. For example, Polygon has Matic, and also Optimism uses OP. So they have their own native token. So the functionality of layer one token is increased by layer two networks. So it improves programmatically and also lowering transaction costs and boosting the performance of layer one. So layer one is like should you say like uh a protocol that improves on existing protocol of layer one. So now layer two, most all the protocols on the layer two, they are mostly improving on existing infrastructure that we have on layer one, while leveraging on the security architecture of the layer one, like for getting its security and everything that is required to create a very standard protocol from the layer one itself. So you shouldn't get it wrong because every layer, like layer one, layer two, we have chains in these layers, and individual chains comes with their own token. They have their own token they use individually. So now let's talk about the application of tokenomics. That's token economics now in this case. So before we dive into the individual aspects in working of like token economics, let us get a basic impression of the same. So it's quite clear that token economies rely on a system of incentive for encouraging desirable behavior in the ecosystem. So this desirable behavior in the intent of user or for using a specific token can help in determining a token value. So incentives play a crucial role in token economics by motivating users to work for the advantage of the platform. So many cryptocurrency platforms offer incentives to users for carrying out governance decisions in the form of newly mined cryptocurrency. So a developer of the blockchain employs certain protocols for controlling the rate of creation of units and also subsequently the amount of currency in the system for keeping track keeping track of for keeping a check on the supply of tokens. So now the limit imposed by the blockchain creator helps retaining the value of the cryptocurrency through the creation of a sense of scarcity among the users. Therefore, you can clearly notice how tokenomics rely profoundly on the value of tokens. So that's like one thing I want everyone to understand. Yeah, that most the discussion on tokenomics till now have emphasized the significance of value in crypto landscape, type of tokens and the incentive behaviors encouraged by the token economics. So now the next step in understanding the token economy would involve an overview of the working token. As a matter of fact, you can know how token economies work when you know how tokens work. So so now since we want to talk about the applications of token, So now here are some applications of token. Here we have tons of them, but here are some I could literally explain and what it is all about. So tokenomics helps in complete cost accounting, and this is very useful for auditing. And in most cases, since we are leveraging on the blockchain itself, so we have tracks and logs of transaction that can easily be audit that we can easily audit, and also get required record, and a correct record that has not been manipulated by any individual. So another one is um, the application of tokenomics is for better consumer producer coordination, leading to community-based solutions. So in this case, we have like we all know that Web3 preaches a community um, focused organization. That's why we come up with the word the decentralized autonomous organization. So most of these things around the tokenomics or token economics of any protocol itself, they are better consumer producer coordination, where we have coordination within the users of that particular product, and also discussions or programs or proposals within the ecosystem. So another example is another application rather of token economics is examining complicated organization. So in this case now, if you have a decentralized organization, it's very easier or very easy to have like a system that is being controlled by the users, compared to having a central organization. So tokenomics helps examine a complicated organization by figuring out what is required in the long run, what are the short-term goal, what are the long-term goal, and some of the things that is useful for the protocol itself or for the organization to grow in the next couple of years. So another application is it can be used as an incentive system, like I mentioned earlier. Like we have so many ways of incentivizing so many things, and in the world right now, basically. So crypto world itself or Web3 world itself is not exempted from this kind of incentive system. So the use of token economy could literally leverage on building a very structured incentive system where we have input from every members to send like a token or a reward to any member of the organization due to maybe a contribution or building the ecosystem. So it's very much easier for setting up an incentive system where we can know that, oh, this certain percentage of token will go out at this point in time, to these particular users or to anyone that is fitting under this category within the ecosystem. So we can be able to build the protocol leveraging on what we get out of the box for realizing the tokenomics for that particular protocol. We can be able to set the required tokens for individuals, maybe the authorities. In any case, it could be people that are contributing to the ecosystem, or people that are just moderating, or people that are just participating. So we can build an incentive system that would literally work for all these individuals within the ecosystem. So we have so now we might be wondering, since we now know like the application and some of these things that are very useful, so what does like the design of tokenomics looks like? um, After a detailed overview of all important aspects of tokenomics, it is important to reflect on its design. So it is important to ensure that a token economics model is highly secure and durable. So any sign of weakness in the infrastructure could lead to a profound discrepancies. So for example, a malicious participant could find an opportunity for exploiting the network to a personal advantage. So it is important to design a good model on a comprehensive understanding of what tokenomics is. So that model will help guide whatsoever activity that is going to go on that particular protocol or in that particular organization. So the right token model could help in avoiding many critical issues, and also requires considerable effort and resources. So a reliable token model would generally depend on a team comprising of programmers, economics, mathematicians with academic and industry experts, but their input in creating the scope and developing token model could play a very good role in ensuring that it's very effective. So although the process might appear very complex, it's usually round up upon like a consensus ecosystem or consensus mechanism around. This consensus mechanism is around existing protocol or what the protocol is. So we have mechanisms like proof of work, and we have proof of stake. So for example, Bitcoin and Ethereum uses proof of work, where they get to have like individual uh, like every miners get to do some certain level of work before their block is being added to the public chain or before they get rewarded for all this. So those kind of algorithm could literally um, help to build a proper and avoid so many critical issues happening in the economics or the token economics of a particular protocol. So this is like an add-on that I want to add as regard the what is critical behind the scope or behind the concept of building a very sustainable token economics around the protocol. And yeah, that being said, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Idris, for that informative session that we just had. I think all of us here will have something to take back from the session that you just gave. We now have some questions that have been curated from the Recorum community, which we would like to ask you. And it
Okay.
would be great if you could just provide your inputs on the same.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, the first question that we have is how has your journey been from being a technical writer to now being a developer relations engineer? Because I was going through your LinkedIn profile and I was seeing that you were a technical writer for a while and now you have transitioned into this new role of developer relations. So, how
Yeah.
has the transition been? What are the differences between the two professions? Could you just walk us through your journey?
Okay, yeah. So before starting out as a technical writer, I've always been a full-time software developer. I just code. I don't. I just code indoors. Learn and code. That's all I do. But as time passes by, I notice I've gained quite a lot from the internet, and it's kind of look like okay. Let me see how I can also contribute to help people. So that's how the zeal started. That's how the curiosity started about technical writing, and that's where I started creating content. So anything I'm learning, I create content there. So from transitioning to it from a technical writer to a dev rel, I think it's more on the side of interest, doing beyond creating content. So while I was also being a full-time software developer and also creating technical content, I do kind of take out some time to attend events, speak at events. So those kind of drives my thinking, my energy, my interest in this direction of advocating about product, talking about technology, see how I can transfer some information or share information that could be relevant for people to get into the space. And these are kind of the things that bothers me that I just do like day in day out. Any of my free time, I see if I can schedule a meeting. It could be Twitter space, it could be um, online event or on-site event. So I just see how I can get to move into all these things. So it's just like doing something, continue what I've already started, and now focusing more on even impacting more people and also building the ecosystem at large. So now from technical writer to dev, just like taking another step ahead of just creating content to now, attending meetups as a speaker, doing more, creating knowledge and building developer ecosystem around anything I'm really interested about, and in this case, the Web3 ecosystem.
That's wonderful. I think this ideology that you have of giving back to the community, That is something that is commendable, and
Yeah.
it's wonderful that you're giving it back to the community by actually educating people and empowering people about Web3 and all the things that you have actually learned.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And this brings me to my next question. And this is going to start getting a little more technical about tokenomics. So, my next question is, which is that one token whose economics you really like, and why is that so?
Okay, yeah. So as of today, we have tons of really amazing tokenomics out there. But there's one thing I want to also put out there, that no no project is perfect. So you should know that we have tons of projects that have like a very terrible tokenomics, but they are being accepted by the community, and they have some advantage to leverage on, and they are doing really well. So, and we have some that has like a good tokenomics. So for me, I would say I have a couple of them, but I would go for Ethereum. Ethereum, I love the concept around their tokenomics, and also how they come up with some of these things, their release plan, and there some things that they schedule, or some things that would end up rolling out at some point, and also the fact that we can build on their existing infrastructure. I think that's one of what really fascinates me about enabling people to build by having like interaction with the blockchain using smart contracts. I think those are kind of things that are really well taught while starting out. So I commend the effort of the people behind the whole thing, or the people that started out building the ecosystem itself. Yeah.
I think yeah, that makes sense because Ethereum being the base layer, you can actually create so many different applications on it, with different use cases all the way from, I think, gaming to finance to whatnot.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Now that brings me to my third question. So, firstly, could you walk us through the concept of game theory and how it actually connects with the topic of tokenomics?
Okay. Okay. Um Okay, so now in crypto games, we are aligning the motivation of developers, players, and investors. So all of these people, or all of these individuals, may take a distinct profit from the running from running a single game. So, however, it's increasingly clear that these roles are complex and blurs. So players become investors, investors may now develop the aspects of the game, and so on. So we consider each participant as having a quotient, and each motivation similar to any game theory you could think of. So getting the tokenomics right is the fundamental base of which a successful crypto game is built. So especially as tokenomics can be difficult, if not impossible, then to fix one token and smart contract, um, to fix if not impossible, so it means that if you want to fix a token issue, then you need to deploy a smart contract. And in some cases, as you all know, that it's immutable, and once you deploy, you can't change, and that's all about it. So a well designed tokenomics means a fun game, ideally, and also increasing the value and lifting profits. So meanwhile, wrong tokenomics can mean a rapid devaluation, and also unenjoyable gameplay, and people just get to lose interest, and collapse of the underlying in financial of the game. So ideally, most games are kind of like the ecosystem around building games comes with interest. So games comes with interest, so while developing a tokenomics on a protocol, something that would work for game, we need to consider the interest of people playing that game, and how it will get to contribute to the ecosystem. So as we all know that the it's pretty early, the Web3 is pretty early, it's in its early stage, so we have so many improvements that will come up. But what drives the whole thing at first is a system that's been adopted by existing infrastructure on the blockchain. So I'm not sure. I hope I answered that question correctly. That's like the connection of how games, what the role games tend to play within the Web3 ecosystem.
I thank you for that, in-depth understanding of how game theory ties up with tokenomics and why it is important.
Yeah.
And while taking the example of crypto games that a lot of people are getting into today.
Yeah.
My next question is a very, I would say it's coming from me myself because I'm a newcomer, you can say, rather, to the field of Web3. So
All right.
how can a newcomer in this field decide if the economics of a particular token are fundamentally strong or not? Because we see that there are a lot of people who invest in a particular token or a particular crypto without actually understanding what the tokenomics are, and then they end up losing a lot of money in it,
Oh, okay.
and
So
at the same time losing a lot of value. So how do you decide if economics is particularly strong or not?
okay, yeah. So I think that could be gauged by market capitalization. So for every, like I said earlier, that no project is perfect, but you see, there are some things to look out for, like what the release plan is, what are the things like, what are the lock security, what are the things that after going live or after being part of the project, what are some at what point will they be released, at what are the total maximum coin that we have available in the ecosystem or token available in that particular project. At what point can we get like do they want to produce more coin or deploy more coins? Those are some things you would consider the lifespan of the project. Another thing that you can easily evaluate is the token price multiplied by the total supply. You could literally get the market capitalization. At some point, when you divide that token price and when you multiply the token price minus the times the total supply, you will get some really big numbers, and you should know that that's looks like a red flag. Really big numbers in this case could literally mean zillion, yeah, for market capitalization. And so to be realistic, we have tokens that are really doing well, and their market capitalization ranges between billions in USD, and we have some that are also not doing really well. And sorry, we have ones that are not doing well, and they get tons of big market capitalizations, and we have some that are really doing well, and their market capitalization is not as big as the other one I mentioned earlier. So those are kind of things. The market capitalization is something you could actually think of what is currently happening in the market, and some of these graphs. So we have like other platforms that you can check what are likely to happen, like AI, to get like feedbacks and some of these things like Messari, where you can take a step back and review how the ecosystem has progressed, what are the things considered, what are some of these graphs, just useful information about the ecosystem that you're about to invest in or the organization you're about to go into. So I think what really plays a major role is market capitalization of every project.
All right. Yeah, I think market cap in any form, not just the crypto space, but also if you look at the stock markets or any other such uh, you know avenues of investment, you should always look at the market capitalization of the particular asset that you're talking
Right.
about.
Yeah.
My next question revolves around Mara, which is a company that you are closely associated with. So
Yeah.
I wanted to understand how has Mara helped shape the tokenomics space in Africa, and where do you
Okay.
see the tokenomics space, going forward in the future?
Yeah, so one of the first thing Mara intends to do, which they are currently working on, is building a chain. So that's how we can get hold of the whole thing completely. Building a new chain, which is likely to be available soon, as shown on their roadmap. So we have like some of these consideration of the African ecosystem itself. We have tons of system that is designed outside, and at the end of the day, when they get introduced into the African ecosystem, it's either it fails or crashes out at some point. So due to maybe the interoperability, or maybe the usage, or maybe the way people get to engage with it, or using that particular um, idea or that particular product. So in this case now, Mara tends to build what works for the African ecosystem by Africans, and what Africans can leverage on to solve so many problems, or so many problem that is yet to arise, and which can be sustainably handled by the blockchain itself. So with the chain, it tends to have tons of like plans around tokenomics, around shaping the Web3 ecosystem in Africa, and also building a portal for Africans and by Africans. Yeah.
All right. So I think it's quite interesting. The entire. I think it's a way that Africa is getting independent in the crypto space or in the Web3 space.
Yeah,
It
yeah. So it's like a new opportunity to also make impact worldwide, and also putting in mind that we have some problems. Africans are facing tons of problems that could actually be solved leveraging on the blockchain technology. So if we have that kind of ecosystem which Mara is working towards and already building out at large, to see how we can it's already a portal for crypto economy in Africa. So that's like the mission of Mara, and that's what it's going to do for the next few years, or even like that's just the general mission. In as much it exists, then it's there to solve those problems for Africans.
I hope that Mara accomplishes this feat that they are trying to take, and I hope that Mara and Africa as a whole end up becoming a world power when it comes to
Yeah,
Web3.
yeah. So,
My next question again revolves around Mara. Just wanted to know if you can shed some insight as to how Mara is different from the other uh, competitors that are there in the market. Global
okay.
competitors or other competitors in Africa.
Yeah, so I think the first thing to understand, like I said earlier, is Mara is not just building an exchange that just come and go. Mara is building an ecosystem for individuals in Africa, developers in Africa, building a portal for crypto economy in Africa. So that's like gives us an edge ahead of other competitors. Another very good edge other competitors are building our own self-sustainable chain, our own protocol that we can leverage on to to provide enhanced solutions for all the problems, or let me say cover almost all the problems that we have in Africa, putting Africans uh, in mind, and also things that are surrounded in Africa, not limited to any country, putting them in mind, factoring all those things into building this chain, and also seeing how people can leverage on this opportunity to build and also develop the next $1 billion product.
That's wonderful to hear about how Mara is actually taking a little different route than the others and trying to edge the competition out there.
Yeah, yeah. So we have exchange, we have wallet. So now we are taking it way beyond that by also building an ecosystem for individuals in the space, either with a knowledge in crypto, or a developers in or the, for developers in the space. Now it boils down to even create a chain that could actually work for everyone.
Yeah, and who knows, Mara could be the next Ethereum then.
Yeah, so yeah, those are things we kind of work on and see how we can build a developer ecosystem around the product itself, and also the chain that is coming up.
Definitely, definitely. And that brings me to the last question that we have curated from the Recorum community.
Okay.
What do you think are some of the effects that the legalization of cryptos in Africa has had?
Um. Okay. So no lies, Africa is booming in terms of cryptocurrency adoption. So we have so many reports and blockchain analysis that provide data as regard how it is booming. And according to the report, Africa's on-chain cryptocurrency activities has consolidated further into 10 largest services in the region by volume. With those services sharing overall activities in this region, from certain higher percentage in the year 2021. So we have records, we have numbers that shows and prove that the adoption of cryptocurrency in Africa is huge, and also the potential to even grow more is way bigger than what the adoption looks like. So uh, I think we like Central African Republic already, adopt Bitcoin as their legal tender. So that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of potentials that you could think of what and where the crypto world is taking the Africa ecosystem to in the next few years. So there, we have so many use cases for blockchain, so many benefits that comes out of the block, leveraging on the blockchain technologies. So these are some of the things that can be leveraged on banks, financial institutions, the agricultural space, and also the industry, the music entertainment industry. We have tons of industry that could leverage on the blockchain technology itself to build a sustainable economy, and also a very reliable environment for individuals to be productive and also to think how to contribute to the ecosystem. So the adoption is really high and it's still growing high, way beyond just crypto trading and the likes. Now it's extending to in bringing more developers into the space and building into this, so not just a consumer in this case, building one or two solutions that can be useful for Africans and also the world in general.
It's wonderful to hear, and from what I can understand from what you're saying, is cryptos and Web3 can actually serve as a all-in-one solution for developing a sustainable and environment-friendly economy that we all really aspire for.
Yeah.
So with this, we've come to the end of questions from the Recorum community. Next
Okay.
up, we have some questions from the audience that we have here live with us today.
Okay.
So we'll just quickly start taking those questions, and let's see where this conversation goes after that. So the first question that we have from the audience is, why is tokenization important for Web3?
Okay. So why tokenization is important for Web3? So in this case, we could literally say
Mr. Idris, can you hear us?
no, just give me a moment. Like I have like a background noise, so I just wanted that to pass. Yeah. So
Sure.
yeah. So tokenization is really important because, as we all know now, the current world, the iteration of web that we are, which is the Web 2, for you to set up a payment system, we have dedicated organization that is in charge of that. But for in the Web 3 and decentralized organization, we have a native built-in payment infrastructure. So tokenization in this case, as I've mentioned earlier while I was going through the site, as regard incentives, like incentives are part of like so many things we do like in the regular real world. So now bringing that kind of incentive into the crypto world means that there need to be some form of identity on an assets that can be assets rather that can be rewarded to individuals contributing to the space. So this could literally be an organization. It could be that's organization in this case means a decentralized organization, that's DAO. And it could be anything outside the organization. It could be a product protocol itself. So having a native built-in payment system infrastructure enables some of these incentives to work in the protocol or in the Web3 space. That's why it's important to have tokenization in place.
All right. So I think a strong foundation in tokenization is basically key to
Yeah,
incentivizing the users,
yeah,
not only incentivizing them, but in incentivizing them in a fair manner, which is
yes,
also a very important factor,
yeah.
right? So thank you for that, for answering that question. Can we move on to the next question from the audience, please? Yes. So the next question is, does tokenization take the industry a step forward or a step backward?
Definitely to step forward. Yeah,
Step
because
forward.
um, blockchain itself, the blockchain technology is there to take the world step forward. And we have tokenization in place or implemented in any chain or infrastructure that we have, which means that tokenization is contributing into reaching the goal of taking the whole world, the world a step forward. So I would say it's a yes, a big yes to take it a step forward. Just like we
Taking a
mentioned
step,
earlier,
yeah,
incentives and the like. Yeah.
yeah. And I think taking a step forward in a place where you're not controlled by central authorities,
System
but
authority.
rather all of us are in control as a community.
Yes,
It's
and we
not
can
just,
always
yeah,
vote. We can always have votes if we have anything, we want to do within the organization. We can always vote for or vote against, and if the number of votes is against, then we can just rule out that decision. So it's as fair as that compared to any other authority or central authority that we have in place outside the Web3 world or decentralized world.
yeah. I think, yeah, the accountability is now going to shift from a single entity to
Yeah.
multiple stakeholders all across the platform,
Yes.
right?
Sure.
Can we move on to the next question then? The third question from the audience. Okay, interesting question. The second part of it is quite interesting. What is the primary purpose of tokenization, and whose interests does it actually serve?
I think the first one is the primary purpose is for incentives to incentivize individuals, and for whose interest does it serve? It serves the interest of everyone. So yeah, just like we preach for Web3, it decentralized. Everything there is decentralized. It's owned by the people, ruled by the people, ruled by individuals. You know, that system that allows anyone anywhere to be accountable for anything he or she does, and also contribute to an existing system. So yeah, it's the interest of everyone. Serves the
I think
interest of
for,
everyone.
yeah, for all of our audience members out there, all our viewers, I think tokenization is an all-in-one solution for everyone and anyone out there
Yeah,
who wants to fully make use of it, and who just believes in a transparent and fair and fair ecosystem that they want to have
yeah.
around them. Can we move on to the fourth question then? Okay. Yes, this is quite an interesting question, especially for someone who's just entering the space. How can one join the Web3 community and be an active member in it?
Okay, so to just make this clear, Web3 is equals to a community driven environment. Just have that in your mind that Web3 is what it is today because of its community. It means that I think so far I've seen Web3 is the most welcoming environment I've seen so far. People are always there to help. But the thing you need to do to get access to those people is that you need to join those community. So and now the community is everywhere, and we are it's like online. You come across it on your day to day on social media and all those places that you visit. So it's very much easier for you to get into the space when you're trying to find out, like say for example on Twitter you follow like top people that are already in the space that are doing well, and also people that are also starting out like you, so that you have like minds to share ideas. And we have different communities, like different groups and communities within Twitter itself, where you can join to see resources. And I can also recommend some YouTube channels, like Nadaya's YouTube channel, Patrick Collins' YouTube channel, or FreeCodeCam. We have that's for platform for videos like crypto, of the whiteboard crypto. We have all those channels for you. That's for videos. And for for platform where you can do hands-on and practicalize some of these things, not just learning. You can also try out Learn Web3 DAO. You can try out like we have tons of them, but I would always recommend Learn Web3 DAO because it just takes you from zero to hero, like from zero to hero. Then as of now, yeah, I would recommend that. So we also have other platforms like Build Space, like the other ones that you could literally just sign up and just get started. And they have amazing community on Discord where you can get to chat. And if you have problems, issues around your code not working or clarifications, you can always reach out to people there. They'll just drop a message. They are very active. They will respond. And yeah, we also have developer DAO, a DAO for all the developers community in Web3 space.
So I think the key over here is just start networking,
Yeah.
reach out to people who are in this space, and just take the leap. And in
Yeah.
case you're not able to find someone, you can always reach out to us at Recorum, or I think Idris would also be more than happy to, guide all of our viewers to
Yeah. Sure.
the respective people that they want to get, acquainted with.
Yeah, sure, sure. So it's like it's free, it's open. I have personal blog that I create content. I have like so many. Best thing is to filter out your timeline on Twitter to follow those people and unfollow some of the people you won't be needing their posts. Maybe, if you truly want to like get into the space, then you need to have people around your timeline that are talking about some of these cool things. Yeah.
And another thing very important, I think, is you should have the curiosity within you,
Yeah, that's number one.
curiosity to
That's what
explore.
really drive me. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big plus. Once you are
Yes.
curious about it, you definitely understand what it is all about, and at the end of the day, you just realize that now you understand it, and now you want to even talk more about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So start networking, take the leap forward, and keep the curiosity within you. Don't let that die.
Hmm.
Thank you so much, Mr. Idris, for that informative and really interactive session.
Yeah.
I'm sure that each and every one of us here would have a lot to take back home after today. Before we wrap up the session for today, it would be great if you could just share your experience with the community at Recorum, and what do you think about Recorum and the entire ecosystem that is being built around it.
Yeah. So I think one of the best or the key thing to leverage on, like we said earlier, in the ecosystem is community. And what Recurrent is trying to build at the end of the day, they are currently building, is a wonderful community to even connect individuals in this space. So now, you know, we talk about learning, networking, and connecting individuals in the space. So how about after learning, what next? Like, how do you secure your job? How do you secure a job rather? How do you secure your next role? So that's like what Recurrent is focusing on. See how to connect individuals and companies, and even way beyond that. Now they have like a series for transitioning individuals into Web3. It means that you could have different section like this where we get to host section, panel session, discussion, masterclass on some of the topics you might have tons of questions about, or some of the topics that you've already learned about, but you don't have a clarity yet. So bringing speaker on board here would actually just give you an answer to all your questions. Yeah, I think it's really great, and I'm really excited to be part of this. And I'm also really excited to, and I'm looking forward to some of the cool things we'll do together in the nearest future.
Definitely, definitely. And do you have any final thoughts, closing remarks for the audience that we have here today?
Oh yeah, so I would say okay, yeah, I do say something like be consistent and trust the process. So once you are consistent, just trust the process. It will finally pay off. So trusting, be consistent, being consistent is very hard for some people. It's very easy for some people, but you need to nurture the habit to be consistent. So some of the things are capped under consistency. It could be learning, it could be creating content, it could be gymming, it could be any other activities aside work or tech related. But being consistent makes you stand out and makes you become the best at what you do, or if not the best, like almost the best at what you do. And now trusting the process means that when you are being consistent, you might not see offers, you might not receive any offer, people might not notice you, you might not understand um like the traction you are willing to get, you might not get it. But trusting the process means that someday this would pay off. So yeah, that's what I would like to say.
Yeah, I think this quote that you just mentioned, about being consistent and just putting in
Yeah,
your efforts, that
yeah,
kind of reminds me of something that my mother actually says quite often. She
yeah.
says, "Do your best,
Yes,
leave the rest. God will
yes.
help you in your test."
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's kind of perfect. Just do your best. So once you do your best, okay, I've done my best, or I already did my best, and you move on. And moving on means that doing your best previously, you can moving on now is like a step higher than what you did earlier on, and that would kind of push you more to that particular role you are dreaming of, or that particular opportunity you want to get into the space. And always think community as like a priority. Don't think this person can't offer anything, or this person does not have anything to offer. Just getting in touch or keeping in touch with people who could literally bring offer directly to you, or bring opportunities directly to you.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I would like to express my humble gratitude to Mr. Idris for taking out time from his busy schedule and walking us through uh, tokenomics and its importance in a world that is slowly inching closer towards Web3.
Yeah.
Thank you so much once again, Mr. Idris. It was great to have you here, and we
Yeah,
hope to see
super
you soon.
excited. Yeah, thank you all for having me. I really appreciate. Looking forward to, do this again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, bye for now.
I'm sure that we have all had a fun and enlightening experience in today's masterclass. And it was great to see such active participation from all of you. This event would not have been possible without the constant support from our sponsors. We at Recorum would like to give a huge shout out to She Code Africa, which is a learning place for girls and women to inspire, learn, and educate one another on the strengths of being a woman in technology. Web3 Africa is building the startup ecosystem for Web3 in Africa and helping them tackle complex token designs, refine their go to market strategies, and connect with synergetic projects. Mara, which is an authentically African built and regulation compliant platform of crypto products, which is set to become Africa's portal to the crypto economy. Last but not the least is Konmar Community, which is a decentralized global platform bringing together a community sharing their experiences, products, and services. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to all these sponsors and look forward to more collaboration in the coming days. I would also like to request all the attendees to drop in your wallet addresses so that your unique NFT minted certificates can be shared with you. Also, you need not worry if your friends or colleagues missed out on this session because they can still view it and apply for jobs during the post event that goes on till 12th July, Tuesday. So reach out to them and let's make the community stronger, one day at a time. Now, you